We welcome you back to the Patrick Netherton Show right here on 1130 The Tiger. Well, we take you from Meredith Duncan, a new LSU Hall of Famer, to an LSU player who's now an NFL Hall of Famer. Kevin Mawae, former LSU offensive lineman, joins us right now on the Patrick Netherton Show, getting ready to be enshrined in Canton. Obviously, no greater honor. First of all, Kevin, thank you for being here. I know you've got a very busy week upcoming, so I appreciate that. But walk me through the phone call. That's what everyone talks about. Take me through the phone call.
Well, it's not a phone call. That's what you don't want, because if you get a phone call, that's somebody from the Hall of Fame calling you to say, hey, the vote was close, but you didn't get in this year. And, what you get is the knock on the door.
Right, you're at the hotel, right?
Yes, you're at the hotel at the Super Bowl, and you get a knock on the door, and it's David Baker, Executive Director of the Hall of Fame, and his job to knock on your door and inform you in person that you've been selected to the Hall of Fame. And that moment was a culmination of many, many years of a journey that's taken a long time. And so your whole career flashes before your eyes, and that knock happens. And I'm a crybaby by nature, so I was already crying before I got to the door. And it's taken me a long time to realize it's sinking in and that it's really happening. And so here I am a week out, and it's starting to hit home that it's real, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible to get, as you said, the knock. It's not even the call anymore; it's the knock to the Hall of Fame. I'm curious, as you're going through your career, is that something that's in your mind, even in maybe the back of your mind, that, you know what, one day I'm going to be a Hall of Famer, that's what I'm striving for, or is that a hope that you think might happen?
No, it was never a consideration of mine. I didn't play the game for the Hall of Fame. I played it because I had fun doing it, and so it's all I ever wanted to do, and I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed everything about the process of playing football. And the Hall of Fame was never a thought of mine. And it wasn't until the end of my career, I was in my year 12 or 13, when somebody for the first time said, your credentials are kind of stacking up that you might be good enough to go in the Hall of Fame. And so it was year 12. And so I took it upon myself. I studied the Hall of Famers and what centers were in the Hall of Fame, and, what were their, how many all pros they have and Pro Bowls and stuff like that. And so I had a list of guys I knew that were in the Hall of Fame already. There's 10 guys at the time, I think maybe 8 to 10 centers. And I knew where my statistics stacked up with theirs. But I never played the game with the goal of being a Hall of Famer. I just played the game to be the best that I could possibly be.
You mentioned statistics when it comes to offensive linemen, and it's very easy for us to say, oh, this quarterback threw for 12,000 yards, this quarterback threw, this receiver had 800 catches or whatever. What stats are offensive linemen looking at, and what to you can basically gird your case for a Hall of Fame vote?
Well, I think the most important thing for an offensive lineman is your longevity and your accountability in terms of being able to play. And I played in 16 seasons, and I had 238 starts. At one time, I had 177 consecutive starts. And so that in itself is something that they look at, and I knew was important. And it was important to me. I wanted to be counted on. I wanted my guys and my teammates to know that they could rely on me. And then the next thing is how successful were your teammates? How successful were your quarterbacks, and particularly, more specifically, how good were your running backs? And so in this process, I learned that I blocked for 13 1,000-yard seasons and 13 1,000-yard running backs. And I didn't know that going into this process. And I had more 100-yard rushing games, 100-yard rushers in games than some people have played in their entire, just games period, in their entire career. Out of all the games I played, I think I had 92 or 95 100-yard rushers. And, there's some guys on the list that didn't even play in 90 games. And so those are things that they look at and that I take pride in, because, like with Curtis Martin, he's like the 5th all-time leading rusher in the NFL.
Yeah.
And 10,000 of his yards are mine. I was on the field for 10,000 of his yards, and so those are things that I take pride in, and I know that I was a part of.
You talking to Kevin Mawae, upcoming Hall of Famer this weekend. I'm curious, Kevin, because I don't think a lot of people appreciate the cerebral side of playing offensive line. I've long contended I was an offensive lineman until I stopped playing football because I didn't like pain in the 6th grade, I think. But, dealing with coaches, being in the profession of calling games for a school, one of the things you learn is that typically the offensive linemen are the smartest players on the field as a whole. And I'm curious, do you think people would be surprised at just how cerebral that position has to be?
I think the true pure football fans understand it, but just a casual fan, they don't really get it. They think just block somebody, that kind of thing. And the reality is that you got to be able to see the defense and understand coverages and understand positions, and you got to make calls on blocking schemes in nanoseconds based off of alignments that can shift at any moment. And so you go up the line of scrimmage with 4 possible blocking schemes for one play, and you got to be able to decipher which one you're going to use. Or the same thing in pass protection. So, people don't understand the center's looking at everything that the quarterback's looking at, and he's the one who calls the pass protections. And so it's, so for a lot of people are surprised about it. And, I think when you take the Wonderlic test in the NFL and the combine and stuff like that, typically it's always the kickers are the score the highest on the Wonderlic scores. And then it's the quarterbacks are next, and then the offensive linemen have the 3rd highest test on the Wonderlics, and usually have the 3rd highest GPAs and graduated at a higher rate than other positions and from college. And it's a testament to how smart the big guys really are.
I will say this, as a guy who does play-by-play at Northwestern State in Natchitoches, when I get on the field, my favorite guys to talk to are the offensive linemen. Because typically
the whole conversation.
Yeah. And they're usually great, and the things that they'll bring up or think about, and especially like when we're on the road, they're kind of relaxed, they're in their element, maybe the night before the game, the team's just kind of hanging out playing video games. It is fascinating to watch the rapport of the offensive linemen off the field as much as on the field.
Yeah, I think just we have. Well, one, it's a unique group in that all the linemen are always together. There's a pack mentality. And so you have to be able to adapt and adjust, and you have to be able to speak with the most intelligent person on your team and be able to dumb it down for the least intelligent guy. And O-linemen have the ability to adapt like that. And they are, some of you, I just watched Garrett Brumfield's interview from LSU and some of the stuff that he talked about, and as crazy as some of the stuff he says is, you think, man, that dude, you got to be a pretty deep thinker to be able to say that kind of crazy stuff. But it's been neat. It's neat to be in those kind of groups and then enjoy those kind of conversations, or at least be a part of them or listen to them.
Talking to Kevin Mawae, former LSU offensive lineman. All right, tell me about the evolution of football. Because it feels like the game has progressed, especially it used to always be it went from the NFL down. The NFL was kind of the innovators, and it made its way down. Now it seems to be going the opposite direction. We're seeing high school coaches get to college. College coaches are inventing a lot of things, turning a lot of things on to new stuff, and then that's making its way up. What's it been like? And you've obviously been a player in the NFL. You've been a coach in the NFL. Now you're a coach in college. What's that been like watching innovation and how it sort of maneuvers its way through the various levels of football?
Yeah, I think it's pretty neat because you're right. Everything does trickle from the top down, and what I think coaches have found at the high school levels is you don't have the level of athletic ability. You can't just line up and play ball against somebody, so you got to think outside the box. And I think that's how the RPO offense and the air raid has come out. And we're not going to just smash mouth everybody. We're going to spread the ball around. And, the danger in that upward thinking, though, is especially in the RPO stuff, the repass option is that the quarterback keeps the ball a lot. And he can get hit a lot in that kind of offense. And that's the thing that delineates between the lower levels and the pro levels, because nobody wants their $13 to $20 million a year quarterback taking hits by 285-pound linebackers or 285-pound defensive ends. And so there's a fine line. And I think at the end of the day, it doesn't matter the X's and O's. The game is still about blocking and tackling. It's learning angles and understanding fits on gap controls and defense. And so from that aspect, the game never changes. Now, how you deliver the ball to the running back or the receiver, that's changed. And, there's less time available, especially in the college ranks, to be able to spend time on technique and fundamentals. And so you got to get innovative in doing that. But when you get up to the NFL, it doesn't matter. If you look at everybody that makes the playoffs and plays late into December and January, it's the teams that can control the football, that can run the ball, and protect their quarterback are the ones who win the games. I'm
curious, Kevin, why Arizona State? Why Herm Edwards? Why the college game? Why did you get back into coaching there?
Well, my daughter was a swimmer. She was a state champion in Louisiana as a swimmer, and she was being recruited. And as any other potential college athlete does, is they pick their dream schools, and they have a list. At least my daughter did. Said these are where I know I can swim, but if this school calls me and offers me a spot, I'm taking it. And Arizona State has a very good swim program. Bob Bowman is the former coach to Michael Phelps, who's the world's greatest swimmer ever. And it was a dream school for her. And so they offered her a spot on the team, and so she came out here and we followed her. And I was looking to get in the pro ranks. I had just come off a season coaching for the Chicago Bears as a coach's assistant, and I was waiting for the next cycle to start, and then Herm got hired at Arizona State. I played for Herm for 5 years with the New York Jets, and I felt like if I was going to coach in college football, it had to be with the right person, a coach that I trusted, but also a coach who I knew what his priorities were and the kind of man that he is. And so that's what kept me in college football is Herm Edwards, and I wouldn't be coaching college football if it wasn't for him. And I'm happy where I'm at. Who knows, one day I might move up the ranks and go to the pros, but right now I'm pretty content being at Arizona State and helping turn this program around and being a part of something special here out in the desert.
When Herm was hired, there were a lot of people, and I might have been one of them, but I wasn't on the air yet at that point. But there were a lot of people that kind of mocked the hiring and said, this is a guy that hadn't been in college in decades, and what was he going to do in the Pac-12? And y'all go out and have a winning year last year. Was there some vindication in that maybe, hey, maybe we still understand how to coach football, even if it's at a different level?
Herm said it when he got hired. Football's football. It never changes. It's X's and O's. It's 11 guys on the field. It's understanding gap control defenses on defense and how they exploit those defenses on offense. And like the people that know Herm and know football, it wasn't so far stretched. And matter of fact, I think college setting is perfect for his personality and what he believes in. And the only difference for him is there's so many rules in college football that you have to follow that you don't have to worry about in the pros, and I think that's taken a little getting used to. But everybody, thought it was a joke, and we've lost our 5 games by less than a touchdown in each game, and we beat the Pac-12, Utah ended up being the Pac-12 South champion, and we beat them. We ran the table in the state of California with UCLA and USC, and so, the joke's on everybody else who thought the joke was on us. And, we're a real team, and it's kind of funny in the Pac-12 meetings last week, they picked us to be 3rd and 4th in our division. And so we'll just kind of go out there and do what we do and keep our head down and expect more out of our guys and let our players do the talking.
Talking to Hall of Fame. By the way, Kevin, you're a Hall of Famer now, right? You don't need the ceremony to say you're a Hall of Famer. You're in the Hall of Fame. You've been voted in, right? Come on.
I've been elected, but until you get the gold jacket and your bust is sitting on that wall, it's really not complete yet. And so this week we'll complete the process. I have been elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but I've not yet been inducted. So,
are you?
I'm looking forward to it.
Are you nervous? Have you seen your bust?
You don't get to see the complete thing until you unveil it. So
are you nervous?
No, not one bit.
Good.
I spent time with the artist Ben Hammond is in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I went up and spent the day with him one time in his studio as he carved it, and I got to see the finished clay model of it when it was about 95% done. I've gotten to see a sliver of it since it's been cast in bronze. It was in social media. He's not allowed to reveal the entire thing yet, but I'm happy with it. He's done a great and phenomenal job. I think it depicts exactly who I am as far as what I've seen, and I'm not nervous one bit. I have full confidence that he's done a great job.
Well, I know it's going to look good, and the gold jacket always looks good. I mean, there's not a short of, I guess, maybe a green jacket in golf. There's not a better, more iconic jacket you can wear, right?
No, but it's forever. I'll never have to wear a sport coat again. I'll never have to buy another suit. A pair of slacks and a gold jacket. That's all I need.
Are you gonna wear that thing?
Are you kidding me? I'll wear it out.
I love it. I love it. That is beautiful. And you should.
High school banquet, gold jacket. Somebody's wedding, gold jacket.
Yes.
Speaking engagement, gold jacket. Man, I'm wear that thing. And, you don't get to keep it. Like if you have, I'm told that you can get alterations or you can get it replaced up to 25 times in your lifetime.
Wow.
But you don't get to keep. Like if I tear a hole in it or I have to get resized, I have to give the old one back and then I get a new one.
So you don't get like 5 of them in your closet, is what you're saying?
No, you get one. You get one that's in your possession, and that's why in terms of Hall of Famers, they talk about there's 326 Hall of Famers after this class, but there's only 185 living gold jackets. And so typically with the gold jacket, most of the gold jackets, the Hall of Famers are buried in their gold jacket, and when they're buried in it, they're never replaced. And so I'm going to take mine to the grave with me, man, and I'm going to wear it. It's going to have holes in it. I'm going to wear it out.
Well, you get to replace it for free, so you don't have to wear holes in it. Come on, man. Just get you when the holes get in. Hey, it's one of my 25 replacements. Let's go. Bring it on.
And I'll have a brand new one made right before I get buried.
There you go. That a baby. That's beautiful, though. I mean, honestly, it's an icon. It really is. It's an iconic piece of sports history, and that's awesome.
Yeah. I think the only thing that comes close to it is the Wild World of Sports jackets that they wore back in the 80s on CBS.
Yeah.
But the color is slightly different. So.
That is fantastic. Yeah, like I said, I'm
excited about it.
I think the green jacket and the gold jacket are the two most famous jackets you can possibly wear, and I love I need you on social media. Matter of fact, you can recruit in that thing, right? Like, can't you go out?
Doubt.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you be recruiting in that thing?
My role right now as an assistant coach / analyst is I'm not allowed off campus on recruiting.
Yeah.
But I joke around when I go to camp when we come back from this thing. I think I might go coach my first day in my yellow jacket.
There you go.
We'll see.
That's beautiful.
But,
you and I have a mutual friend in Ross Setters, who was an offensive lineman with you, and obviously everyone around here knows Missy Setters, his wife, who is the executive director of the Independence Bowl. And I can tell you, Ross is good people, and when Ross tells me that you're a one of a kind stand up type of guy, and you agree to come on and do an interview here in Shreveport, man, it tells me all I need to know about you. I am just exceptionally excited that you're going to get that ceremony, going to get that gold jacket, and I fully expect to see that thing all over social media.
Well, thank you, man. I'm so glad and so blessed, and I'm thankful. It's a big week for the state of Louisiana with myself, Johnny Robinson, and Ed Reed going in.
Yeah.
And Ross is a special person to me. He's like a brother to me, but no, I go in as an LSU Tiger and a Louisianian, and so I'm going in and understanding that I represent the state of Louisiana as well. So. Thanks for having me, and man, who knows? We'll cross paths, and we'll do this again sometime.
Absolutely, Kevin. Congratulations, man.
Hey, thanks a lot.
All right, Kevin Mawae, Hall of Famer, joining us on the Patrick Netherton Show.